I'm a dog person, but I have 3 cats. I don't have a yard, so I can't have a dog.
Well,
I'm a dog person.
I'm an animal person, but right now I have cats.
I hate birds.
I think in order of see, that's what I want. In order of pets that I want.
Well,
it would actually be birds.
Let me tell you
let
me tell you why I hate birds.
All right.
Marvin's a bird lover.
Look, I like eagles. I like fucking ravens. But why do we take the only creatures that have the ability for
you've
flight
said this
and put them in a fucking cage, dude?
Listen.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
You can make that argument about every animal you forced to keep in your house.
Not every animal has wings and able to fly.
Every animal was originally designed to be outside.
Well, every animal has legs and can go more than a few hundred square feet.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's all, but also
all pets are unethical. Damn it!
But think about it. Every pet has legs, but very rare that they have wings, dude. That's an ability that only birds have, dude.
No, it's not true. Bats have wings. Flying squirrels.
And they're not pets.
You shouldn't keep them as pets.
Some people do.
I mean, if we include insects, suddenly everything gets a little wonky.
I know. Yeah,
you can't pet an insect, Dan.
Yes, you can.
You can.
People pet their pet
beetles
tarantulas.
That are big enough, man.
Yeah, people pet their pet tarantulas all the time. Yeah.
That's a
you could also eat an eagle. I like to eat some eagles.
That's a crime. You're admitting to crimes.
Allegedly on Minecraft.
Also, quick note for those of you who are used to hearing a certain kind of sound for eagles on from movies and pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a hawk.
Yeah,
that's not an eagle.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
eagles sound like bitches.
I thought you were making the Dean Cain noise. Ah!
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Real eagles don't sound anything like that.
Like the Umbrella Academy, the Netflix show, and then there's a part, spoilers, but they meet their alternate reality selves, the Sparrow Academy, and in promos when the Sparrow Academy shows up, it just sounds like crows, and you're like, that's not sparrows. Come on.
Damn it. Come on.
Missed opportunity.
I mean, it's okay when Raging Sharks puts in tiger roars for shark noises, but
or when Deadly Premonition puts in monkey noises for chipmunks.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Marvin.
Yes.
Do they visit a different universe? Is it a multiverse thing?
It's a comic book series, so everything becomes multiverse at one point.
Oh, okay. I never seen the show.
Also, one of them, 5, he's a time traveler, so that's going to create alternate universes. Anyway,
so it's not like Parasol School
or Awning Academy.
Yeah, that one is much more stationary.
Awning Academy?
Those people stay put.
Did you guys see the trailer for the new Netflix show, Ninja Family or something?
Oh, what? Brother Son.
No, the Ninja Family.
Oh, that's Brother Son, isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
You just said the same thing 3 times.
Yeah, why?
I never heard of. I never heard of this.
No.
No, this not.
Oh, that's Brother Son. No,
yeah,
no.
I fucking told you. Wait. I'm pretty sure it's Brother Son.
No, not Brother Son, dude.
God damn it!
What is Ninja Academy?
Move on from this bit.
So when I look up Ninja,
I was way off. It was called House of Ninjas.
Oh, House of Ninjas. Okay, sure.
It looks badass.
Okay. Well, we're not doing a ninja episode. We're doing a time travel episode. So we gotta go through time. Well,
welcome to season 6, everybody.
That's true.
Welcome
to season 6.
We made it to another season.
And it's a much shorter break than there was before the last season, if you have been following along all this time. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been years at this point.
So this was also a monumentous episode for the overall Star Trek crew, because this episode was actually produced alongside the pilot episode of Deep Space Nine. So they were actually stretched pretty thin as they were making this episode.
Yeah, it shows.
So that's why.
It shows a lot, actually. This isn't to say that season 6 or 7 are bad by any means. They're actually pretty good. But this is the period where they're running 2 shows simultaneously. So there will be some resource issues here and there.
There's no excuses, dude. Taylor Sheridan is running like 30 shows at once right now, dude.
Oh, Taylor Sheridan. I don't know who that is.
Whatever his name is, the Yellowstone dude.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Ed Sheeran. Is it Ed Sheeran?
Sheeran?
Taylor Sheridan is an American filmmaker and actor.
Oh my god!
Wait, no, that's an actor.
No, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Oh, that's the guy. Oh, okay.
He also did Hell or High Water.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Yes.
Yellowstone.
Like, how many minutes of this podcast are us telling each other names and us trying to figure out who we're talking about to each other?
Someone keep track of that. Someone keep track of that. Hey guys, this is what this episode pre-proposes this idea that if it wasn't for goddamn fucking Deanna Troi, all of Mark Twain's books would have been racist, sexist, and fucking just filled with fucking just like horrible things, dude.
But like she had like sort of fixed his books.
Yeah. Like she.
But at this point, he had already actually had a good
Well, yeah, it's not like she changed his heart. She convinced him that the future was going to be okay.
Yes,
like, he
and
was
also,
the guy who already was like, I'm supposedly the progressive, and I want, poverty to go away and things like that. And he's like, you didn't do that, did you?
Yeah, he was skeptical, but also during his time, he was an abolitionist, and he was for the time progressive.
Here's the thing. That's what history presupposes. But what I presuppose is that he's a piece of shit, dude.
Just presuppose history on your own terms.
Yeah, dude.
I would agree with you if that's what was in the show, but I don't think it's even in the show.
Dan, in my history, in my timeline, the story that I made in my head, him and Colonel Sanders were brothers, got separated. One of them said, I'm going to use my genius for fucking literature, change the world. And the other said, I'm going to use my genius to make the best fucking chicken in the world, dude.
Yeah.
And own a plantation.
You know what?
Well, in my personal headcanon, Samuel Clemens was actually Iron Man because he named himself Mark Twain.
Oh, yeah.
So
also,
Mark Twain is actually the second Iron Man.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
It's the one that was split in twain.
I have a question? Did Mark Twain
Zuckerberg?
Did he really sound like that?
Yeah, there's
probably
audio,
but
there's audio recordings of him going, I say, I like to write books.
No, but like the guy who did this role, like he got into this particular cadence that always sounded like this every single time.
Dan, you're not nearly aggressive enough.
Regardless of emotion.
Doesn't matter what kind of line he said. He just said like this.
I'm yelling in the middle of the street.
They should have cast Samuel L. Jackson as Samuel Clemens.
Yeah.
It's like every other actor around him is like just calmly saying their lines, and he'll go, well, I should go back, don't you think?
Yeah, he ruined these 2 episodes single-handedly.
He really focused in on him. Yeah.
Like, I know that none of you guys actually watched the show, but is this the sort of crap that would happen in Doctor Who?
No. As far as I know,
I know he's tangled with historical figures, like not all the time, but every so often it just happens,
At least modern Doctor Who seems to be more interested in its like own lore than in actual like historical events. And it's actually more Star Trek-y than it is time travel-y in the way you would think so.
I think Doctor Who doesn't Doctor Who go and like visit Van Gogh?
I think he
there's
does.
like a famous clip of Van Gogh where he lets Van Gogh see that like his work was appreciated actually.
Yeah, and he's like also you should cut off your ear, dude.
Yeah, totally do it.
Yeah,
that's fulfill the prophecy.
Yeah.
He's like do it.
Fulfill the prophecy. But it's a lot of it is
fulfilling itself.
Sci-fi concepts, kind of like Star Trek, actually, where it's kind of like, oh, we have this problem came up because of the sci-fi concept, but it's like more fantastical. Like they don't solve it using like technology; they solve it using like their wits more than anything else. As far as I can tell.
Well, I was talking specifically in regards to interacting with this historical figure in their time, or having them.
I think they do that sometimes.
Did they do that any other time in TNG, like a actual historical figure?
Like actually going back, I don't think so.
No,
everything else has been
this
holodeck
feels
based or
pretty
like,
new or made up. You know,
Yeah, they
like
eventually run into actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
now, actually, I'll bring it up later, I guess, when we get to it. But
Well, I mean,
I had a question.
the closest we had seen so far is end of season 1 when they defrosted the people from the 20th century.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
but-
guess that's true.
But that's not time travel per
Yeah.
se. That's more of they're out of time, not the crew.
And
So-
it's not a historical
Yeah,
figure.
yeah.
Like a famous.
No, these are
wish
just random assholes.
I wish they would have just put historical figures. Like they unfreeze fucking Randy Newman, and he's like, "I love LA."
Space is the place for Star Trek. And then that's how you'll.
Wow.
So this episode's wild, dude.
Well,
Was it?
before we get to it,
We should go back in time ourselves.
We should go back in time, dude.
So this episode first aired on September 21st of 1992. Dan, let us do a bit of time travel of our own, shall we?
now recall, this is the season premiere. So it's been about 3 months since the last episode we reviewed, meaning that a lot has happened over the summer. So I'm just going to run through a list of movies. First off, we have Batman Returns, as I mentioned last time, A League of Their Own, Cool World, the weird, like, knockoff Roger Rabbit, Universal Soldier, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, the very first Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie that predates the series by 5 years,
Sucks.
Death Becomes Her, Three Ninjas, Unforgiven, Honeymoon in Vegas, Pet Sematary 2, and Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Is Denise Crosby in Pet Sematary 2? I don't remember.
I'll bet not. But
Okay. Is it
I don't
one of
know.
those?
I didn't actually look up the cast though.
Is it
Maybe
one of
someone can
those
correct me.
movies where they may do a completely new cast just to have it?
That would be my guess, but I didn't actually look into it, so that's my bad.
Yeah, she's
should've
not in
looked it
there.
up.
She's not in. Clancy Brown's in there though.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then that's good then.
I
Yes.
have a very important question.
Yes.
Very important question.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you to think about it. I'm going to finish the sentence and you just blur it out. Like, just yell out your answer, dude.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of the three ninjas is the best ninja? Rocky.
I don't know them
Rocky's the
well.
only name I can remember, so I guess Rocky.
I don't
Yeah.
know them at all.
Okay.
Wait, from who? From what?
Three
Say that again?
ninjas. Three ninjas.
Three ninjas? Oh, I don't
It's either
know.
Three Ninjas or Three Ninjas Kickback.
I almost thought you meant Three Ninja Turtles. I filled in the turtle.
No.
You
You
Or
love
Ninja
turtles.
Turtles.
You're known to love turtles, and you do that turtles everything.
I was
You're
like,
they're like,
Michelangelo.
I'm sure the Three Ninjas
I don't
wouldn't
know
exist
if that's-
without the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
They asked Sarah.
Absolutely,
Sarah,
that's absolutely true.
They
Yeah.
So
asked Sarah.
I thought you meant, I thought you were saying Ninja Turtles, and I was ready to say.
No.
Venus.
Okay.
They ask Sarah what her favorite cat is. Like, do you like cats? Yeah, turtle cats. Yeah, I love turtle cats. Do you like doves? Yeah, turtle doves.
Yeah.
Is
but no,
Michelangelo a Ninja Turtle name?
Yes, yeah.
he is. he is.
Okay.
They're all
But-
based
but-
after famous painters. So Michelangelo,
what's another one?
Raphael, Donatello.
Raphael, Donatello.
Yeah.
The three ninjas are Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum.
Tum
I don't
Tum?
remember these.
Yeah.
at
I'm
all.
going with Tum Tum.
Yeah,
That's my vote.
Rocky's the best one, but I always get in a fight with an old coworker of ours.
I don't
Yeah,
even know
and
what differentiates them.
Colt
I'll
is
be
a piece
honest,
of
I've
shit,
never
dude,
even
and a
seen
show
the
off.
movies.
Yeah,
Mm.
really?
No.
I think we should do a breakdown of the movies, dude. I think they
All right, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
His-
All right, moving on.
historical value.
Enough about the dang ninjas. Notable games. The very first Kirby game ever, Kirby's Dream Land, released on Game Boy North America in August, as well as the very first Super Mario Kart ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool.
Wait,
And on
Super Mario Kart on the Nintendo
Super Nintendo.
Super
Yeah.
Nintendo? Oh, okay.
Using
that was
the
the very
what's it
first
called? What's the
Mode
technology?
7 graphics.
Yeah,
But
The
Mode 7 was
3D.
in use in Super Mario World, so it was, just more use of the same
but it
same
was
deal.
so cool
F-Zero.
looking. It's so cool looking.
I know, but a bunch of games are doing it.
I know.
All right. June 21st, Marina Sirtis got married to a musician
What?
named Michael Lamper, with whom she stayed married until his passing in 2019, and then she moved back to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the 28th
Wow.
of June, a big old earthquake in Southern California made the news if you were living around there, and it was called the Landers earthquake, and I think to date it's the only earthquake that I can personally remember where I saw things fall and break in my house.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
That sounds
Also
really
that summer,
scary.
Shaquille O'Neal was officially picked up from college ball by the Orlando Magic. And then in July 25th, the 1992 Barcelona Summer Olympics kicked off. First one since the end of the Cold War. First to be unaffected by boycotts, and it was also the first time South Africa was invited back to the Olympics after 32 years because they had recently ended apartheid. So yeah.
Okay.
This is in September? All in September?
That was in July.
Oh.
The summer months, right? Like
there's a few. There were 3 months.
I'm going over all the summer.
Yeah, it's a busy summer.
This all happened in 1 week. No, I'm kidding.
On a lighter note, it was the first ever appearance of badminton in the Olympics. It was also the first time the U.S. basketball dream team with Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Barkley, and Patrick Ewing were all in the Olympics together.
That's
so
a
yeah, they cleaned
team.
up. August 13th, the 25th San Diego Comic-Con was held at the Doubletree Hotel in San Diego. It boasted 22,000 total attendees, and special guests included Francis Ford Coppola, Todd McFarlane, William Shatner, Mr. T.
All right.
Okay, that's a interesting bunch.
Yeah, back when it was a much humbler event.
Yeah, but they still had Shatner. And August 24th.
Wait, was this the period of Mr. T when he stopped wearing the jewelry all the time?
I don't know if that would have been it.
That was a very.
This
was before his 1-800-COLLECT commercials.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's how you orient yourself.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that stuff. August 24th, Hurricane Andrew, for those who remember him in Florida, hit that area at the time. Also,
I was not living in Florida at the time. That was.
Oh, you weren't? Yes, that's true. You were.
Where were you?
But I was in Canada.
She was still Canadian.
It was still. But I did have a cousin that did live in Florida during Hurricane Andrew, and she was a little kid, and she had. I remember her describing it to me when she was older, and she had crazy PTSD.
Wow.
Because
I read that it cost $25 billion in damages in Southern Florida alone.
It was crazy, and it just sounded like a train was just running over their house. It was just everything was just so terrifying. And she was a kid, and I think she had to go to therapy and stuff. It caused a lot of PTSD for a lot of children.
Wow.
At the time, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
South Florida never forgets Hurricane Andrew.
Sheesh.
All right. So now that we're finally in September, on the 5th, Batman, the animated series, premiered on Fox Kids on a Saturday. Yeah. And then on the 12th, a bit of Black History Month tidbit for the podcast date, since we're airing this in February. The first Black woman launched into space, Mae Jemison, was part of Endeavour shuttle's missions.
She ends up in Star Trek at one point as a cameo.
Oh, what about that? So
yeah, she plays a transporter.
Spoiler alerts, dude. You got to warn us, dude.
Very cool.
And that concludes our trip around the sun.
Batman was a Fox show?
Originally.
Yeah.
Fox Kids.
I always associated with being a WB show. That's crazy.
That's after Superman, the animated series, took everything and then they did the Batman Superman Adventures. They did the World's Finest 3-parter, and then Batman was on WB.
But I mean, a lot of shows in general, they're produced by one company and then released.
Yeah, I just in my brain it was always a WB
if you'll recall,
show,
Fox Kids is also where Animaniacs debuted and where Tiny Toons used to be.
Yeah. Is that, I guess I always associate as WB because the first thing you see is the WB logo.
Yeah.
So that might be why, even if it was on another channel, maybe as a kid, I was like, WB.
I have a fun fact for today.
Oh.
What's that?
It is Eugene Wesley Roddenberry Jr.'s birthday today.
Oh, right. It is.
The date of recording.
February 5th.
Shit. It's actually a big birthday for him. He's 50.
Oh, all right.
Who is?
Gene Roddenberry's son.
Who he made his middle name Wesley? Oh God.
His middle name
wasn't Gene Originals or
Gene Roddenberry,
Gene Seniors?
Yeah.
So did he just copy his name exactly and just put a junior, I guess?
Essentially, yeah.
Well, that's what a junior
Wesley,
is, right?
Roddenberry. And so I guess he goes by Rod.
Is he involved with the Star Trek at all?
Yes.
No, not really.
Then
he started to become directly involved in Star Trek franchise in 2016 when he signed on as an executive producer for the TV series Star Trek Discovery.
Executive producer in quotes.
Yeah, it means he signed off some rights.
He's famously earlier in his life tried to distance himself from Star Trek until he realized that one, it's hard to distance yourself from Star Trek when you are Gene Roddenberry's son.
Yeah.
And two, you also might as well, capitalize on it a bit.
So as a young man, he was not really familiar with Star Trek. He never watched it.
Yeah, he didn't really like
being
associated with it. Yeah.
I feel like that's a very common story for kids of celebrities. They just aren't that interested in their parents' work.
Yeah, I guess basically after his father died, he began to be like, well, what's the Star Trek thing about? And
he wasn't
why do people care about it so much?
I mean, I know a certain son of a
bitch.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly. I know. So this guy's dad owns a professional sports team, and this person that I know has zero interest in said sports team. So it's very common.
Yeah, I mean,
think about the shit your dad's into. Are you into, the shit?
Exactly. Like my dad's a musician. I'm never gonna be a musician. It's the same thing.
So this little tidbit was interesting. Roddenberry struggled initially with his father's near legacy stature among Star Trek fans, commenting, "A son cannot identify with a mythical figure. My father was put up on a pedestal throughout my life." So I guess that is really hard to grow up with someone who everyone thinks is this godlike figure and has this fandom around him, and then you just see, and then your dad just is grounds you or something or is a jerk, and you're like, oh.
But it's just you also know that he's just some guy,
Yeah.
And ultimately, Gene Roddenberry was just a guy. It is a little annoying when I do see comments that are like, oh my God, you guys are being critical of Gene Roddenberry. And it's like, yeah, he's a person. It's not like he was perfect in any way.
I feel like his son is trying to say that I saw him put up on a pedestal, but I knew him for the real person he was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everyone
around
him is telling him, your dad is amazing.
Your dad's fucking amazing.
And he's like, well, he's just my dad. He's not this godlike figure who created it. You could, he's
my dad, and he walks around in underwear in the house and does all these weird things, and
he swings with other women.
There's no celebrity that isn't subject to some degree of this, where
Yeah. Well, happy 50th, Rod.
I not for me. Fuck you.
Happy birthday.
50th.
Yeah, I don't want to be lumped up into this birthday bullshit, dude.
Well, happy 50th. Hope you're getting drunk. And having a good time.
But anyway, let's just do our sponsors really quick, because one of them is our old faithful ExpressVPN. Y'all know how reliable ExpressVPN is, and y'all know how fast it is. You know what? I'm not going to do the talking points this time, because you can just Google ExpressVPN for yourself. Look at the reviews. It's consistently reviewed as one of the best, if not the best VPNs out there. That's why we independently chose ExpressVPN for our own VPN before we even started the podcast, before we even, did any of this stuff. And we actually reached out to them because I liked ExpressVPN.
Well, we didn't reach out. We just signed up for the free trial.
Well, no, for the affiliate thing. We were like,
yes.
You want to do a thing? And they're like, oh, yeah, let's do it. So, they're cool. They got a password manager built in. They have an ad blocker built in. It's super good. Up to 8 devices, 10 gigabit speed, super fast. This is a great service. So you can head on over to expressvpn.com.
Can you do this ad read in the Mark Twain voice, please?
Head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, you'll get 3 months for free. That's 49% off.
So much better.
Yeah.
It's really putting me in the mood for this episode.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, 30-day money back guarantees. You can just send it right back. So again, expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, they'll give you 3 months for free. And also, so Exter is our other sponsor. And you guys know about Exter, small compact wallets. But they have a new wallet that I think is more exciting than their solid gold wallet. And I kind of want to ask for a sample of it.
Do tell.
It is their brushed copper wallet.
Ooh,
and it looks really good, actually. Like the gold wallet, you're like, oh, it's cool. It's like a solid gold wallet. It's kind of a novelty that you have an 18 karat gold wallet.
It's a baller move, dude. It's a baller move.
But that brushed copper
who
wallet.
do you know who has a gold wallet, dude?
Who?
Fucking Drake, dude. Probably.
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
Yeah,
what to
dude.
do with
You know
that.
what he did? Speaking of just like
It's where he holds his
premium
little hot
shit, dude.
sauce
Premium
packets.
shit. No, dude. He had a birthday party, and for all the ladies, he had one of those claw machines with fucking
Mhm.
Chanel bags.
Oh wow! But
Just
those
Chanel
never
bags.
those never work. They're like
Exactly, dude. The trick.
Yeah.
He kept all the
trick is
Chanel
you don't
bags for
actually get
himself.
anything.
The joke's on them for being like, oh, we're going to Drake's party.
Oh, I
they're
say
also
we're going to
marked-
Drake's party.
Well, the way those claw machines usually work is that there's only one out of every so many chances that it actually has any grip at all, and then that's when you have an actual chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You only have an
Otherwise-
actual
I did win.
chance some of the time.
Otherwise,
I won
it's
something.
cheating.
But I
Yeah.
blew a lot of money to win a little something.
Oh boy.
You know. So
So if you guys
All
want
according
to,
to Keikaku.
you guys want to check out that wallet and other things Exter has, just go to exter.com, ekster.com, and use our offer code Newbie, NEWBIE, and it gets you up to 25% off any order site wide as it stacks with ongoing sales. It's a pretty good deal, if I say so myself. And
Say it, dude.
free shipping, any order, $50 or more, free returns within 100 days of receiving your order, a 12-month warranty on all products, and I think they're still doing it, the free gift with any order above $90. So again, head on over to exter.com and use our offer code Newbie when you check out. There is technically a vanity link if you're in the YouTube version, or in the podcast description. You're
Dude.
seeing it now, but
Marvin,
it's complicated. You don't need to.
I want that fucking copper wallet too, dude.
It looks
damn
good, right?
God
I'm
damn
skeptical
it,
of your
dude.
newfangled technology coming in here,
let me
God,
take
dude.
a
trying
look.
to
Let
mess
me-
up our timeline with your fancy copper brush
Let me
wallets.
see. Oh, it's nice.
It actually looks
Nice.
really nice, actually. I'm like, oh, that seems
God damn it,
Okay.
dude. I hate you, Esther, whatever your name is.
they've, only,
That's right.
they've only been our sponsor for like 2 years.
It's fine. They still seem to like us anyway, so just say whatever the hell you want, Ricardo.
I want to say this though.
Yeah.
Are we done with the ad?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
I want to say this, guys. For the people who have been listening for 5 seasons, starting on 6th, I want to thank everybody. It's been a
Yeah.
really good journey. It's been fun. There's been points where I'm like, the show's so stupid, and then there's days where I'm like, oh wow, that really spoke to me. That was a beautiful show, dude.
Mhm.
And thanks for listening. That it does mean a lot. Thanks for the comments, the likes, the subscribers, all that. But
Yeah.
if you don't like us and you leave a horrible message or send hate mail, thank you too, dude. Because
Yeah.
you took or dudette, sorry, they them, because you took the time out of your day to be like, you know what, I fucking hate you guys.
That means the world to us.
Not that I didn't just
Yeah.
turn you guys off. Like I didn't just turn off the podcast. I didn't lower the volume. I did that and got upset so much that I sat down and wrote a strongly worded letter. So thank you for that as well.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
It's all good. And if you want to leave us a review, go on ahead. Positive or negative, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Whatever.
wherever you are.
If you're a new listener and you're like, I'm starting with season 6 because that's my favorite season. Let me tell you this: if you're easily offended, oh boy, this isn't for you.
Buckle
maybe.
up.
And it's fun. And it's fine. Like not everything, I fucking hate black licorice.
Mm,
Okay,
really?
okay.
But some
It
people
That was a
love black
last minute
licorice.
swerve, Ricardo.
Sorry, guys. I scared you guys.
Holy
Kept
moly.
us hanging for a nanosecond there.
Yeah, but
We almost went
there's
Kanye
people-
West there.
But there's people that love black licorice.
I like black licorice, actually. I'm one of those
so
people.
see, like there's people like I don't go to the store and just go like, well, I'm gonna try this black licorice, even though I know I fucking hate it. So you know what? We're not for everybody. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
okay. We could be
Also,
in the novelty store, black
be
licorice
fair,
store. Yeah,
This is a weird episode to start
I'm
on.
not gonna tell you what nationality my lawyer is.
Mhm.
I would
Back to the
argue
Kanye
this is starting at the second part of a two-parter. It's probably not a great place to start your podcast.
Yeah,
journey.
there are
Yeah,
probably very few
yeah.
people who are beginning here with us.
Don't
but,
start here. If you already made it this far in, go back. Go start somewhere else.
You know what?
Just watch any other episode, really.
It's fine. You know what? I say the opposite of these guys. Start here. Tarantino the shit out of it, dude.
Be confused.
Start here, go forward, go back.
This is not Tarantino. Now this is a memento. We're mementoing it because we're so confused.
Well,
only if you go backwards sequentially.
Yeah.
It's also a weird time warpy
also a
episode.
time thing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of time, let's look back at an old recording of Denise Crosby and see what she says.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh, wow.
Oh, it's funny.
Her voice was very scary to me for a minute. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know. It was just jarring.
I've heard it so many times.
I know. But this time it just really took me off guard. I don't know.
Man.
Anyway.
Yeah. So,
Season 6 hits different.
It does.
Yeah.
It does hit different.
So Mark Twain, he's hanging out and he's a fucking rat, dude.
Oh,
he's talking to this reporter, dude.
He is interfering like
snitch,
crazy.
Dude.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
dude.
I want to ask this question. Were they counting on the audience to feel like this was a reveal that Mark Twain is Sam Clemens?
I don't think so.
Like it's not supposed to be common knowledge to them. I'm actually not sure what common knowledge was at the time.
I feel
so
like
I don't know if this is supposed to be like.
I feel like it could be
sort of
50-50.
like
50-50.
Wait, Dan,
But I feel like there was a.
Do you think, Dan, that like after this airing, like or after 92, there was a big Mark Twain blow up? Like where they're like, oh fuck, dude. Like,
well,
don't you think like he's just always been like the same amount of famous, and then he hasn't either gone up or down? Like it's just
no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like Samuel Clemens being his actual name. Because
I don't think a lot of people know that. I didn't know that.
But I think in the show, I think there's a line where someone tries to call him Mr. Twain. He goes, "No, Sam Clemens." I was like,
like when he's talking to the reporter,
makes a point to say that.
Yeah, so I think they're not trying to like make it a reveal. I think they're trying to like clarify.
A lot of people don't know
historical figure. I don't think it's a reveal. I think it's more of like they're trying to be like, okay, maybe people don't know.
Okay, because this ties into an issue that I have with that episode overall because his watch, inside of the cave, like has an inscription on it that says like SC on it, as though it's some big mystery.
Yeah,
but it's just his watch, and it's like, well, it's his watch. Why would it not be his watch?
Yeah.
You know why? Because what is the problem they have had with every season cliffhanger part 2? They only wrote the first part and didn't write the second part yet. So they had to.
True. It's true.
So they had to be like, well, we planted that clue. What could that mean? It's just he just left his watch there.
So was this
just
Mark
click the
Twain
pieces together? God damn it!
Was this Mark Twain character supposed to be representative of his actual personality and persona? Was he this like?
There's a theory that he went to the future and then back. It's based on true events. Not a lot of people know this, though. A little trivia. There's a young artist called Shania Clemens, and she changed her name to Shania Twain.
I caught it before it happened, so this time it didn't get me.
Oh my god.
All right, so
I reject it. I reject this.
I'm still
no.
Dude. Whoever's editing this episode, put on that song underneath that joke. Let's go, girls, and then yeah. All right.
It.
So this episode starts off and fucking Mark Twain, piece of shit, fucking ratting people out, and he's talking about like, hey, I'm getting evidence. These guys are time travelers, and he fucking hates them. He's not curious at all. Like for someone who like is a writer, he's not curious at all to be like.
Yeah.
The thing is,
what is
he wants to like stop them. I guess like he wants to be,
which is weird because in the first episode he seemed merely curious.
Yeah.
In this episode, he seems like it is now his life goal to stop time travelers.
Or so he says. I don't actually believe it.
Where did that swerve happen? Why did he suddenly become so angry?
He's like, we should make a bureau, a time cop bureau. By the way, if you're a fan of Van Damme, Time Cop is a beautiful movie. Watch it.
That's okay.
So these Mark Twain's talking to the reporter and saying like, oh, I'm gonna get evidence. I'm gonna fucking bring these guys down. These piece of shit fucking time travelers. Mm-hmm. And then you have the aliens that are hiding in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're not good at hiding, dude. Because you look at them and you're like, these guys are villains.
They're acting. They are weirdly stiff.
Yeah, and also like
looking at everybody.
Yeah, and then like that cane sticks out, dude. No one has a fucking snake cane, dude.
Yeah, and they never explain why they can like transmogrify themselves to look like humans.
Yeah, I don't get any of it.
They don't explain a lot about these.
They still haven't really explained how the mechanics work. The Ophidian like snake thing that can turn into a real animal sometimes with enough energy. What the hell is any of that?
And also they don't explain like what are they sucking? Like quote the soul? Or what are they sucking, dude?
they
said like energy.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the answer to that
all
question?
The brain juice.
Well, semen, I suppose, but
the brain semen.
Wait a minute. Are they only taking men's souls?
No, they took women. They took women.
They took women too?
I think there's women. There's women in the cholera place.
Are you sure?
I think
don't
so.
Discriminate.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, they never explicitly state that they're only taking men, so
I guess so. But you only see them sucking the souls of dudes. The old homeless dude, the 49er.
The 49er, yes.
The old dude that it was in the hospital in this episode.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. What they really wanted is cum.
Well, you said it, my friend.
Thanks for the clarification.
In this episode, they're already like there's a big old time jump. Or there's from the first episode to this episode because like they all have uniforms and like they have an apartment and like their rent is already due.
Yeah, rent is due.
Like they showed up in their uniforms with nothing. They have no replicator. Yeah. What did they do
just
to get
said,
all that?
We're gonna skip all this.
And rent is due, so that's a month. That they've been there
my
for a
headcanon
while.
is that like appropriate clothes just manifested on them like in Kingdom Hearts.
Well, also apparently they were going to write a ton of how did we get situated here, and there was going to be like stuff where like they go out of their way to show that they've been there for several months. And like Picard would remark on how bad the food is in this century because he's used to like fancy French food.
I would dig that. Like I wanted more of them being out of time. Like that was the bits of the episode that I actually really liked.
And then Riker could have been like, it's fucking dusty everywhere. Everything's so fucking dusty, dude. He's like, you can't walk anywhere without getting dust on you.
Yeah, like Ronald Moore was like, why didn't we do more stuff with them interacting with the 1890s? I think he was annoyed that there was so much Mark Twain stuff when it
I was annoyed by that.
When it should have been more
Me too.
Enterprise interacting with the 1890s stuff.
Yeah. Let me tell you what, dude. This would have been a funny like 10 rating episode for me. Mm-hmm. Just because like it's just funny. Mm-hmm. But Mark Twain fucked it up, dude. In fact, now, because of this episode, I hate Mark Twain. I don't want to, like, if my kid brings a book,
Finn,
like,
go fuck yourself.
We gotta read fucking Huckleberry Finn.
Don't let other people make you
book,
hate
dude.
Mark Twain.
Fuck Mark Twain, dude.
No, Mark Twain made us hate
very unfair.
If there's a Mark Twain book in this house, it gets burned.
Oh my god!
I
agree with that.
Burning.
I really do. Marvin, didn't you tell me that while we were watching this, you said that the person playing this is a Mark Twain imposter? No, I'm kidding. Impersonator.
So I've been told, I don't know if it's fully true, but I've been told that the actor does lots of different roles in general. Even in Star Trek, he does a bunch of roles. But apparently, one of the things he used to do was a professional Mark Twain impersonator. So
silly. Like, what is even? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. It's like, you know, the professional Bill Gates impersonator from Nathan For You, right?
Well, it could be one of those
people are impersonators of everything.
Yeah, they're like period reenactment villages and stuff like that. You know?
I don't know. It's such. I don't know. Like, why is Mark Twain in this episode? I don't understand him in this.
I mean,
episode,
I get the idea. I get the fun of interacting with a historical figure.
We didn't need it though.
No, but I think the problem is that they made it central instead of like a fun thing to interact with.
And he was annoying.
He's the primary villain, and it's kind of like he's like, well, not primary. He's like the secondary villain, and it's kind of annoying because he's kind of getting in the way versus like being a fun interaction.
He's just a meddler.
Yeah, he's a meddler.
Yeah, no one likes a meddler.
Yeah, it's annoying because it's like, explain more, please. And they decided to just instead spend most of it on Mark Twain and what he does. Because you could do some fun stuff with him if he wasn't being a jackass. You know, like when he does come on the Enterprise, it's like, oh, that's kind of funny. Mark Twain on the Enterprise. And you're like,
I don't know about that. It was okay. I just didn't like his character portrayal.
Yeah, you know, look, we're shitting on Mark Twain a lot, but it's his fault for writing
Sorry.
Dude, seriously, like I was having fun, and every time he'd come back, Mark Twain, I'd be like, "Fuck, dude!" Like,
yeah,
get this
it's funny because the moment they show up in their period clothing, you're like, "Oh, that's kind of fun."
Yeah,
they look kind of fun, and like Riker dressed up as like a Bobby, you know, like
everyone looks good. Yep. Yeah, I like how everyone looks. It's like these are cool costumes for them.
Yeah,
I want these alt skins.
Yeah,
I thought heist.
Crusher actually looks really nice in her dress. I think Deanna in her purple dress also look really... For some reason, Picard's the only one dressed like a hobo. Everyone else is dressed kind of nice.
Why is that?
They just gave him back his like winery duds.
Yeah,
basically.
They're like, I just got off the boat from the French winery.
Yes, I'm a true Frenchman. Me, with my accent, can't you see?
Yeah.
Don't listen to him.
That must be extra confusing in a period, you know? They're like, so you're French?
Yeah, that was weird.
Mr. Pickard.
That's yeah. And then so it's what's her face? The doctor and Riker, and they're basically investigating with what's happening. And basically they figure out like, oh, these ghouls are time travelers and like they're soul suckers, you know, like the mummy and fucking Bubba Hotep. And they're like, we gotta like do this and that, and they're stuck in time. And then the fucking old lady, the landlord, shows up, and she's British or something?
I think she's supposed to be Irish.
Yeah. And she's
makes me wish O'Brien was with them.
Mrs. Carmichael.
Yes, they would have kicked it out. They would have like had a great relationship.
Maybe it was O'Brien's ancestor, Mrs.
Could be.
Carmichael.
Yeah,
maybe.
And so she's like, "Hey, Picard, you piece of shit, fucking rents
Pickard."
Dude.
She calls Pickard.
Pickard.
But then I think she slips up once and says Picard, actually.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she does. Yeah. That's the actor.
And then basically she's like, "Hey, rent's due this week, tomorrow. Like, you better have the fucking money, dude. I'll beat the shit out of you, dude." And then they're like, well, don't worry, we're a troupe of actors. And then you're like, okay,
they just explained at that moment. So you see, we're actors.
Yeah, like how did they get this far without having to say anything?
Yeah,
I know.
It's not thought out. It's just not thought out.
And then you cut back to fucking Mark Twain being a fucking nosy fucking
nosy bitch,
and he basically bribes the bellboy to let him into the room. And is this the same bellboy as the one that helped?
Yeah,
it is.
Oh, this guy's a piece of shit.
And turns out he's an author too.
Yeah, he's an author. Yeah.
Turns out he's also there are a bunch of famous authors just hanging out in San Francisco.
But this guy is a piece of shit because like
how fun.
Like he'll do whatever it takes for money. Like
that is his character.
Yeah.
He is also Mark Twain did kind of trick him. He did say Mark Twain did tell him, "Hey,
I'm looking for a letter of intent."
Yeah, we're friends, and he accidentally took something from me, and so I'm only here to grab my property back. Yeah.
This makes Mark Twain look like a fucking asshole, dude.
Kind of.
Yeah, which he is in real life. So he.
I mean, might have been.
Yeah, he is. He was, or if he's still alive with all this, he still is. So he's like, oh, I'm like, oh, he's like, oh, this machine, I remember, this is a fucking gizmo. And then he takes a chip off the machine, and then the bellboy just leaves him there, dude, to just fuck around, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, goddamn, bellboy, like, has no fucking honor, dude. This piece of shit fucker, dude. And like, he takes old Mark Twain takes the fucking what I would call the flux capacitor of the gizmo, you know, and he hides in the closet. And he's not a very sneaky guy, dude.
No,
because immediately, like 2 minutes in, he like sneezes or makes a noise, and like.
He drops it.
He drops it because Data says, "Hey, that thing that he lifted off my machine is gonna kill him." basically.
Yeah,
I need
it's
to let him
super
know.
toxic if you hold on to it, and then comically we hear like a drop, like a thud.
That's true. That's true.
Clatter.
And he gets him out of there, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna expose you, dude. You time traveling fucks. I'm gonna expose you guys, and you guys shouldn't be here. You guys gotta get out of my time, dude."
Why didn't they beat the shit out of him for invading there?
Yeah, like his reaction to being discovered is also kind of like a jerkish reaction. It's like he gets indignant about being discovered for doing something wrong, and it's like, oh, fuck this guy.
Get out of my room.
Sucks.
Yeah,
this isn't the real Mark Twain.
And then it cuts to fucking Picard like being a fucking like lamp boy or something. Like he's playing a bug. But what is he doing, dude? Like,
so he plants a bug so that it'll detect the waves.
Is he supposed to be like that dude from fucking Mary Poppins? You know what does he do? You know the Mary Poppins sequel, the Lin-Manuel character. Doesn't he like light bulbs and like light lamps at night?
Oh, that's what they used to do back in the day,
right?
for gas lamps. You know.
Yeah, and
I forgot there was a sequel.
he puts a like a bug or like a tracker or something.
Yeah.
That like measures the fucking midichlorians in the fucking alien.
Some shit.
Yeah,
they're gonna measure in the room.
It basically because when the aliens show up, it goes beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it measures like their midichlorians, whatever they have in their souls or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, like they're trying to figure out what's happening and stuff, and then sure enough, as soon as Riker leaves, and also like these people, they look shady as shit, dude.
Oh yeah,
they look shady. Like, how did Riker walk past them?
Yeah,
and then just be like, just a weird, well-dressed couple, and like
with a Lucius Malfoy cane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Yeah, dude.
These are fucking Slytherins for sure.
Yeah, and like also like there's no other people that look like that in this setting here. Not even
they're a little overdressed. Is what it is.
Yeah. Not even Geordi looks that fucking like well dressed.
Yeah,
and he's well dressed, dude.
Yeah,
and what I like about Geordi is that like, because I was wondering how they're going to do for the visor, but like, I guess he's just flying blind when he takes off the visor, right? Is he completely blind without the visor?
He's fully blind.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he just puts the sunglasses on.
They cheated a little bit because technically he has neural interfaces on his temples that would still be showing if he put on glasses. But whenever they switch it out, they're magically gone. So they just.
There's an awesome
you can just say that they're perfectly covered by the arms of the glasses.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's a crazy fight scene though in this hospital.
Well, we're not there yet. So the fucking the gizmo goes off, right? Beep, 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 beep. And then Beverly's like, oh, like she kind of like looks around like, oh, they're here. It's like, no shit, they're here. The thing's going off. And she turns around and those really well-dressed people are standing next to this guy who's like basically almost dead. Like he's in his deathbed. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh fuck. And then she uses, where does she pull the comm badge from? Where does she?
I think she just has it in her pocket. Probably.
All right.
Yeah, she has a lot of like folds in her clothing. It's probably somewhere.
Yeah.
And she basically rolls up and she's like, oh, this patient, the doctor says that, blah, blah, blah. She starts making small talk and stuff. And she's kind of stalling basically. And fucking Geordi shows up. And they start,
which is also just to quickly imply this implies she has fully integrated into the hospital system because she's a working nurse.
Yes.
Somehow that quickly.
But so is this other nurse that shows up, the alien nurse.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess she has the same nurse uniform on as well.
I guess she has access. Yeah, that's
it's really bizarre.
It's and also
maybe they asked her for permission to work there.
She was told.
Beverly met that lady first and was like, "Can I work here as a nurse?" She said, "Yeah, sure. I'm totally a nurse here too. Also,
that lady's your boss
with you.
I don't know. Yeah, because she is wearing the same type of uniform under the coat.
There's two Catch Me If You Cans happening at the same time.
Yeah. So fucking Geordi just beats, like what Sarah was saying, the fucking Geordi beats the shit out of this guy. Just fucking manhandles him, dude.
Strong. Man.
Just fucking
Geordi. Yeah.
Knocks him down.
Yeah.
And then
you don't need Worf.
And then fucking Riker's like, you move and I'll smoke you guys. And they just disappear. They're like, out.
They couldn't bring Worf, could they? Huh?
Yeah.
Like Worf would have been really funny in this setting.
Yeah,
but they just can't.
I mean, he's
just a deep diver scuba helmet.
Yeah.
They would need some sort of crazy hat on him. That would be the only way.
He's like, they're like the only hat that'll make you passable is like an old timey fucking Texas style fucking like big hat,
50-gallon hat.
50-gallon hat. And you have to have a Texan accent, and he's like, "All right, partner."
See, this would be great. What if they all had to make accents?
Oh, no.
Worf had to be
basically,
like,
what I actually wanted was Star Trek 4, but in the 1800s instead. That's what I wanted.
Oh, they knew. There's a reason why
they were in San Francisco.
Yeah, they know why the one with the whales is one of the most popular Star Trek movies, because it's just people are out of time.
No, they didn't, because they went in all in on Mark Twain instead.
Yeah,
that's true. And then fucking the real fucking fuzz show up, and then they go to Riker like, "Who the fuck are you, dude?" And he's like, "Oh, my name's Tim. I'm from like I'm from the downtown unit." Yeah, and he's like, "I work in the downtown
I'm
unit."
downtown.
Yeah, and he's like,
"No, it's a Utica expression."
and he's like, "And you?" And the cop doesn't go like this. This is a weird assortment of people. Like, he never. He's like, "We're gonna get to the bottom of this," but he never goes like, "What the fuck is going on, dude? You guys have the blind black man, the weird policeman, the fucking chimney sweep here, and a nurse, and then like probably a lady that like is not a good psychic."
Yeah, he knows he actually knows right away she's a bad psychic.
Yeah.
Did anyone catch the comment that the cop said where they take the cane from Geordi and he's like, "This is a gentleman's cane," which is like a slight little racist,
just a tiny bit of period racism,
period
little
tinge, tiny sliver of it where they usually weren't letting you see any.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fascinating.
There's a little tinge of it. They just touched it tiny bit,
just a little bit.
They couldn't drop the N-word on the fucking on public television. Yeah,
this episode suddenly gets really heavy, and Jordan's like, "Oh right, that's what this time period is."
So he takes the cane away. I want you to do this. Okay, if you can do this, Marvin, take the scene, and when he says "gentlemen," just bleep it out. Just put a beep. He says, "This is a beep cane." And then just to see how that looks. And then he takes the cane, and he's like, "Oh, this is a beautiful fucking cane. It's a Dean cane." And then they're like, "We're all going to take you from downtown." And then Riker goes, he looks around, and he's like, "Hey, I just want you to know, I admire law enforcement." And then he fucking beats the shit out of him.
Palm heel strike, bam.
Why does he say that? Like, just to distract him? Like, I
think.
Well, he feels bad for having to take down the peacekeeper.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and at this point, fucking they rolled out, and Data's there with the fucking horse and buggy.
The horse
Data
and buggy
pulls up.
How did Data find him? Because of the machine he had made.
His machine went off and was like, "Oh, I'm detecting time activity."
Got it.
That was the whole point of that device. Just
seismic activity.
So
they take Times McGrath.
They take the cane home. That would have been okay. Let me.
It is really funny.
Let me go back a bit.
They like fly away, and the cops are just running on foot, yelling with like whistling their whistles, and then they're just useless. They have no way.
I know.
Of catching up.
We'll never catch them now.
So they're like describe them, and he's like, "Oh, I can remember as the colored boy."
Yeah,
fucking racist.
Exactly.
He was blind. It'd be pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
That's true.
For some reason, the one they mention is one is an albino. Like that's
dude.
Yeah,
he's like,
it was either that or mention the colored boy.
Marvin. Yeah.
The blind man. They could have said the blind man.
No, that would have been too conspicuously not the right thing to say.
That's true.
That's not the first thing.
You're right.
Here, so.
You're right.
I mean, the cops wouldn't even say that now, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay. So. And if you're a cop listening to this, cops are racist, dude. Anyway, yeah. So
they're nodding right now.
Yeah, they're like, he's right. He's fucking right, man. And so let me tell you this, dude. Rewind it back. This is what I would have loved to see. Okay, the episode starts off, and Deanna Troi is using her fucking her powers as a psychic, and she's like, I'm a gypsy, and and she's doing fortune telling or something, and like just making boatloads of money.
So much more interesting,
right?
That would have been cool. That would have been cool.
That is some basic like X-Men shit.
and that's how they got like the apartment, and that's how they could have like a really cool base. Instead of they do this stupid fucking bit in the next scene where they bring in the landlord to fucking read a fucking scene from the play. Like that time could have been devoted to just delete that scene. Make her a fucking a psychic. Yeah. And she's making money, dude.
Because she does nothing else the episode. She is just there. She doesn't like do anything. Yeah.
She's a better fucking poker player. She's a better poker player than anybody.
No, she can read minds. Mark Twain.
Oh.
Can she read minds completely?
No. Remember, she's a shitty Betazoid. So she can only read emotions. She can't read minds.
Okay, so she could read if somebody's happy with a poker hand or
yes, she can.
Poker hand.
So she definitely can use it to cheat on poker. She could tell if someone's nervous, like she always says. She goes, "I can tell they're nervous, Captain."
Yeah. So same she could have been a psychic or like a poker shark.
Yeah.
And
that would have been kind of badass if she's like the card shark of their group.
Well, they already did it last episode.
I know that would be a retread.
Which is why I thought when they reunited with him, he would be like, "Yeah, I'm going to pay off all their debts because I'm totally rich and loaded."
Yeah, I thought he was going to do that. I thought he was going to be the one who's like, "Your debts are covered. Don't worry. I've been making lots of money in the past."
Yeah.
But instead they let Mark Twain settle all of their debts.
Just looking at this scene, LeVar Burton's blind acting is pretty cringe.
Well, he's never had to actually act blind before.
I know, but I'm just saying, as an actor, his blind acting is pretty cringe.
That's what I mean.
But he's never had to act blind because he's had the visor on.
I'm just saying
they're saying that it's poor blind acting because he doesn't get to do it often. That's what they're saying.
That's what we're saying.
I'm saying that the director who directed him to
has no idea how to direct a fake blind person.
Why is it a given that every director knows exactly how a blind person should behave?
He should have never directed Geordi in this way to give this like really stereotypical performance of a blind person that I just
it's possible cringe. The conceit is he's acting like a blind person poorly in the world. That could be possible. That could be a possibility because he could be like, "Oh, I'm blind."
Because he doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know what blind people actually
get. Bad. It's so bad.
But both Geordi and LeVar Burton don't know how to act blind. So that's why. Because they don't do it often.
It's cringy.
So they she could have been a fucking psychic, and they blew their chance, dude. They make the stupid fucking scene with the stupid landlord. 2 scenes that she has, by the way, that could have been cut for like a scene with her making money, and then they just have an apartment, knock those 2 scenes out, done. Mm-hmm. And they have more time to devote to like timey-wimey stuff. Instead, they wasted the time on the fucking play. Mm-hmm. And so they shoot a laser at the cane, and the cane turns alive, and it's a fucking snake, dude. It's like Anaconda, the movie. and Geordi goes, "There's snakes out there that big."
It's such a weird concept for this is our time travel device. It's
so random.
It's so bizarre. Like, why wouldn't it be a piece of technology?
No, like snakes, we know for a fact, are time travelers.
Well, that's essentially what they're saying. It's like, well, that's an Ophidian. Like that.
Well, it was like they knew right away. They were like, oh yeah, Ophidians cause minor disturbances in the space-time continuum. Therefore, they must be using this as a way to channel it. And we're like,
goddamn cobras.
What are you talking about? Like,
I remember them immediately knowing that Ophidians were associated with time distortion, but like just the fact that they knew what an Ophidian was, like right off the bat, and how none of this is weird at all to them. It's like, I don't get it.
How often do you encounter time snakes?
Attached to canes that only activate when you want.
Why is it only a cane when it's phased?
Remember in the Bible it says that, like, it says like, hey Eve, don't eat from the apples tree.
Don't eat apples.
They'll make you. They'll give you shame, dude. 2, don't talk to the snake because they're time travelers.
I like to think God was like, so I forgot which tree's which, so don't eat from either tree.
Okay, so he's like, look, there's two apple trees. One of the, they both have snakes, by the way. One snake is a devil. One's a time traveler.
It's both about as bad, so don't fuck with that.
But if you just time travel, it's fine. But don't talk to Satan. But you can talk to the time traveler. But well, how will I tell them apart? God, it's fine. You'll figure it out. And then bam, dude.
Just don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So then,
even if you make a mistake, I won't be mad.
Yeah.
I certainly won't be mad at all.
Yeah. Back to Mark Twain scene, and then he's talking to the fucking reporter again. He's like, "Hey, dude, meet me at 4 p.m.
Shut up, Mark Twain! You're ruining the timeline.
Scoop of a lifetime, my man." And he's like, "Oh, you got it, dude." And he's like, "These time travelers coming over here, dude, bring in their black folks and their gypsies, and
they're taking our jobs.
They're taking our jobs, and albinos." And he's like, they're coming over here and ruining the past, dude. They should stay in the future, dude.
Right.
They're probably taking our resources. And so he follows them. He finds them. He figures out that they're going to the cave because he overheard them.
Yeah, they've been all trying to get to this cave. In fact, Guinan's only involvement with Data has been so that because she's rich, I guess, she has she has connections that can get them to this cave.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't need to, which they don't need to show her interacting with at all.
Yeah.
And so did they explain why this cave has been treated for time travel?
No. What are you talking about?
It's just perfectly where the Davidian wormhole ends up. I don't know.
They end up in Main Street.
Oh, yeah, you're right. What the fuck?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this movie.
I don't know. They don't explain that. Really.
Here's the thing about this thing.
Comments help.
It's the same cave where the DeLorean is. Remember in Back to the Future 2?
Oh yeah.
It's all same cave, dude. The cave of time travel. And so they're all down there, and they're like, "Oh, we got to figure out how to engage this fucking snake, dude." And fucking Mark Twain shows up, fucking blasting, dude. He's got a fucking gun, dude. And he's like, "I will fuck you guys up, dude." First of all, Mark Twain is a violent
shoot
man,
you.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
You found a gun, so here it is.
Yeah. He's got a cigar in one hand. He's got a fucking blunt in one hand and a fucking gun in the other, dude. And he basically says like, "Hey, I'll fucking blast you fools. Like, move over there, dude." And why don't they go? You got us, dude. Let's go back to the future. You know, literally. You know, let's go back to the future and we'll call it a day. But he's like, "No, I gotta expose you guys." Like, what's his plan? Like, he's gonna go. Are they gonna they're gonna hang for their crimes of time travel? Like, what's the plan?
So what I thought was gonna happen when Mark Twain found, because I don't remember. For some reason, part 1 showed up a lot on BBC, but not part 2. So I don't see this episode very often at all.
What's BBC?
The British Broadcasting.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. And then
you're talking about someone else.
But for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be like, "Oh, Mark Twain found out about our plan. Well, he already knows, so we might as well tell him everything.
Yes,
and he could help us."
Yeah,
and that's not what happens. Instead, he is like annoying. Like, wouldn't it be kind of neat if they like let him in on what's really going on, and then Mark Twain goes, "Oh, I see. So if I don't help you."
Well, that's a cool version of this sort of trope where like you meet the historical figure, they're actually cool and understanding, and they help you.
I mean, he has written an essentially science fiction book already. So
yeah, he even references it himself inside this episode. He's a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court. He said so.
So he, Data should be like, "Well, you know the gravity of the situation. If we stay here, this is a problem. All we're trying to do is get back." Yeah,
he just needs to have one actual conversation with these people, like on their terms. That's it.
Then they just keep avoiding him. They just keep going, "Mr. Twain, get out of here. I don't want to talk to you." And it's like, he's heard the cat's out of the bag. He's already heard about starships. Like this is you might as well just let him in on they take him on the fucking Enterprise anyway. So it's like,
I know. And he goes back to his own time with all of that knowledge anyway.
Yeah.
They make no attempt to erase his memory, even though they totally can, because they've done it before.
Yes, they've explicitly done that before. So
yeah, they don't give one shit that Mark Twain now has all this knowledge of the 2300s.
Yep, they just
they're like, who's he gonna tell, dude? He's gonna write in books. So this is what happens next. The time travelers, the snake, the anaconda people, they show up, and this is, I hate this so much, dude. This angers me so much, dude. That they have this staff that's a snake. It's a time traveling snake.
Yeah,
it's the most important thing. It's the MacGuffin of the whole episode.
Yep.
And they give it to the weakest fucking crew member, which is Beverly. They don't give it to give it to fucking Deanna, dude. Maybe she'll do psychic shit and fucking.
Also, Deanna has shown that she knows kung fu. So
yeah. Give it to somebody who is not going to use it for murder, dude. Which is Deanna, dude. And so the time travelers show up and they just snatch it from fucking Beverly's hands. Literally just snatch it, dude.
Yeah.
And then Data's like fucking fast, dude. Data's like, he fucking grabs the thing, right? And he fucking kung fu's the male alien, fucking knocks him down, and then the female alien gets really hurt. But at the same time, I don't know what it does to Data. That it overheats he gets him all horned up or something, and his head fucking pops off, dude.
Yeah,
they don't explain that. Well, like what happened?
No, so his body goes through the gate, but it's like an explosion, so the head pops off.
Yeah, but like, why did the head pop off?
Because
because they found his head there. Damn it!
Here's the thing, Dan.
That's what I mean.
Dan,
you found a gun, so here it is.
They never established this. At no point. Look how important this could be, Dan. We're working. Remember the time when they were working on him? They couldn't figure out. He literally can go, "Hey, pop my head off. Show me my back." Literally, how cool would that be in the scene? They could do camera tricks. They're holding his head, and then he's like, "Oh no, that's the wrong screwdriver." Like, use that little circuit, dude. And they never showed that before. Not until it's convenient they show him fucking losing his fucking head, dude. And so this is what happens. He loses his head. He goes through the wormhole, and then the male alien, wakes up and he's like, "Oh shit, dude! That fucking Lindsay's dead, dude." Or her fucking name is I don't know if she has a name. But he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna leave her here, and he fucking books it into the wormhole, and then everyone else does too. Like they're like, fuck it, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go. Yeah.
Yeah. Picard stays.
Picard
with
tells them to follow them.
Yeah.
And Picard stays because he has to.
I guess so, dude. But guess who else goes?
He was very worried about Guinan.
He just has to, okay?
Mark Twain. And Picard doesn't go, "Hey, Mark, don't fucking go, dude. Just stay here."
Mr. Twain, okay, huge hypocrite, by the way. Hey, Mr. Twain, you've been complaining about people polluting your timeline this whole time. So you're totally willing to just jump to the future. The fuck is...
Also, Picard didn't do anything. He just sat there and watched him do it. He could have just like held him. He was at arm's length, dude. He could have just held his coat, dude. But he didn't, dude. Picard's a chump, dude, in this episode. And so he goes and then Riker's like, "What the fuck you doing here, you fucking idiot, dude?" And he's like, "I'm here to solve the case." And it's like, Mark, you piece of shit. You just stay in your timeline, dude, and write your shitty books, dude. But no, he's now in the future, and so they take Data's body, and then they're basically like, "There's two things we got to do. One is we got to blow up the fucking planet, dude. You now know how to make a missile that'll just blow them up. Two, we got to reattach the old head from Data to the new body and see what happens."
Right.
And so they're doing that, and apparently Picard in the past sets up this thing which makes no fucking sense. No fucking sense. He like sabotages a circuit in Data's head.
Yeah. To have
and
like
then
a code or something.
Yeah, but to have a code, but how does he program the code, Marvin? How does he program the code?
So I guess allegedly
You're guessing, but
Picard knows how to program binary into a positronic brain. He knows how to do that, but he doesn't know how to write a note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they didn't find a note, Marvin.
Why not stick a note in his brain?
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Or the
if
mouth.
you know they're going to check his brain.
Yeah.
What do you mean no? Did he have paper and pencil somewhere?
I'm sure there's fucking paper and pencils somewhere in this goddamn place.
Sarah, he can literally go outside and come back in.
It's a working mind.
Yeah,
and he has 500 years to write the note. He doesn't have to do it that day.
He can't leave Guinan.
Yeah, for some reason he's like, I have to stay right next to her the whole time, or she'll die.
Also, he could have just left her with a goddamn fucking Mark Twain, dude. And Guinan's smart enough to figure it out, right?
Yeah. I mean, she figured out this much so far. She would.
Yeah, but I mean, like, to just get out of the trouble, you know? Just
that's what I mean. She's already figured out. She's figured out life on Earth this far already.
Yeah.
Like she'll know how to.
So anyway, that was a stupid MacGuffin, dude. There was a stupid thing, dude, that I hated. And basically, like, Riker's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do some fucking bullshit over here, dude. Is this the right move?" And Guinan's like, "I'll never tell."
Yeah, she can't say anything.
And it's like,
I hate this stuff.
Yeah, it's like if I tell you, it might not happen. And then
you know what I think would have been much better? Mm-hmm. It's not like she herself even knew everything that happened. It's like
actually,
she has limited information. Just give them the limited information she has. Realize it's useless to them.
Yes,
or whatever. It's like just let her say something.
She could have just been like, you know what? I was knocked out the whole time. I actually don't know.
They could have written it that she was floating in and out of consciousness. Yeah. Anything.
Yeah. I have the vapors.
Yeah,
exactly.
So they didn't do it that way though. They did it a wild way, dude. And then so fucking, of course, the only thing to fix something when anything's broken, the answer is always shoot a missile into it, and we'll figure it out.
Okay. So, Did this strike me? This struck me as particularly evil. What the Enterprise did.
Yes.
Yeah, they really had no problem with just icing these motherfuckers.
Yeah, they just killed an entire species.
We can't figure them out. Let's kill them.
They didn't even ask. So Picard asked the dying Davidian lady. He was like, "Isn't there an alternative?" And she said, "No, there isn't." And I'm like, "There has to be. It's just energy. I'm sure you could emulate energy."
She said so. She doomed her own race.
So fine, but that's only Picard who knew that. The rest of the Enterprise crew didn't know that.
Yeah,
they could have explored trying to give them energy a certain way, but instead, they were like, "We need to destroy this colony."
It's easier to just kill them all.
Isn't it funny?
They're not even in our phase reality anyway.
Yeah, dude. Isn't it funny that they go to a planet that's mostly sand people, tunnels.
Oh no!
And the first thing is like, you know what? Let's carpet bomb this fucking town.
Oh God, yeah.
Like
Samuel Clemens was right when he said you guys are still causing war.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. For the record, listener, we are stretching a bit to do this right now, but
I'm not, dude. I'm not even stretching at all. I'm sitting down. So anyway.
Look, of course, also Mark Twain has to complain that the replicated Cuban isn't just right.
Yeah,
fuck you, Mark Twain.
It
magically created a cigar for you. You should be freaking out.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. To be honest, though, that is the one thing that I can relate to, because it's like it's the thing that you're used to all your life. If it isn't exactly the same, why would you be satisfied?
Yeah, they could have just explained it like this. Oh, these are syntha smokes, whatever, like you could smoke as many of them and you can inhale them and you won't get cancer. And then
you'll be like, "What's cancer?"
What's cancer? What's cancer? And he's like, "It's gonna be a horrible thing that's really around now, but you guys won't figure it out."
You should probably stop smoking cigars, by the way, sir.
Yeah. And probably don't put lead in your fucking house. And
also,
and so
when the horseless carriage comes, maybe don't put lead in the gasoline. that will cause like 2 generations of people.
Let them figure it out.
Yeah, but he's like this, and then basically Deanna like convinces him that the future is great and like gives him hope and stuff.
Yeah, she says that poverty has been eliminated, which
we fixed everything.
It's a little hard to believe by season 6 that the future is as perfect as she says.
Yes, it's absolutely ridiculous. Actually,
it's crazy.
This is the only way
Like she says, they've gotten rid of the concepts of hopelessness, despair, and cruelty. That's literally impossible.
You don't get to have a show without those.
Like, that's literally impossible.
Stories don't happen without those.
Yeah, that's not possible. In no future is that possible.
You can't just get rid of broad concepts.
Can I ask a question?
Don't worry, we got rid of evil.
We got rid of evil.
I have a question, and yes. I want you to answer as truthfully as you can within the imaginary circumstance.
Okay.
Time travel advances at a rapid pace coming up. We're able to colonize other planets where we're able to just move to a different planet, right? And we say, all right, we don't like certain things, right? We want to have freedoms. We want to do all this stuff. We're going to make a planet called Evangelical. It's the Evangelical planet. It's basically like Earth, dude.
It's the Evangelion planet.
Yeah, and you could have all the rules you want, dude. You could have it'll be exactly like The Handmaid's Tale, dude. You know, women have no right. You can't get abortions. Like the top 10 things evangelicals love, right? Movie.
All right.
Okay.
Would they be satisfied, or would they be like, no, but your planet still has fucking abortions. Fuck you. Like, we're gonna go to war with you. Yes. I think the latter.
Well, that's literally how it plays out in history.
Yeah.
That's literally how it play out in history.
Yeah.
Britain was just bothering people. Like, no one asked Britain to come over. It's do shit to them. You know,
that's true.
They just decided to go over.
It's also in human nature to have conflict and look for fights and issues and. You know,
yeah,
as long as there's humans around, there's going to be.
I feel like a group of humans are never satisfied. I feel like they always have further ambitions. They can't just be satisfied with what they have. They will have to keep wanting more.
It's not possible. I mean, just look at. I mean, that's why a lot of people say it must be really sad to be like a billionaire or whatever, because nothing excites you anymore when everything is possible. That's why they're like going to space and thrill seeking and. You know, it's just
making islands with weird shit.
Yeah, nothing excites you, so you're gonna just keep looking for conflict. Nothing's satisfying.
That's what I thought too. But
unfortunately, anyway. Our problems scale with our perspectives.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. That's what I've been saying for fucking years, dude. We need a good old fashioned extinction.
I mean, we would totally start a war with like another planet. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'd be like, wait, our planet's dying. We want what you have, and like totally take over another. You know,
well, first we'd be like, we want to be allies. We want to be allies, and then we'd be like, oh, you guys have oil on your planet?
Oh, okay.
We don't need oil anymore, but we would like some of it.
Yeah, we just want to hoard it.
Yeah. Precious,
just like how
resources?
We don't really need gold that way anymore, but we'd still like it, please.
Water, we need water, so maybe they would be like that.
No, we need unobtainium.
Yes, that's what we need. And we need a lot of it. So anyway,
how did people not check out the moment that was mentioned in that movie? Like, he literally motions towards it.
Marvin,
we need to get unobtainium.
Marvin, that's how rare it is. It's unobtainable.
Yeah. Well, what would you like it to be called, Marvin, to satisfy you, dude? Just bullshit name?
Yes, a bullshit name would be much better.
No, dude. It's so unattainable that it's called unobtainium, dude. Yeah, dude, what are we gonna call it? Fucking silver, dude?
I feel like the movie is like him trying to like see how far he can get away. He uses papyrus for his title. He calls it unobtainium, which is a literal joke in science fiction since like the 50s. It's like, I feel like he's just trying to see what he can get away with.
Do you think that's the sci-fi nerd version of fucking Epstein's Island, where he just starts fucking torturing humans with stupid fucking shit in his movies? Papyrus and fucking unobtainium. Anyway, so they pop Data's head back in, and by the way, it's looking great for being 500 years old.
It got cleaned up real nice.
Yeah, it cleaned up really nice. And Mark Twain's like, oh, all's well that ends well, my friend, my blind friend who's not blind. He never once says, wait, you could see, dude? I thought you were blind.
More lies.
Yeah. And he never once goes like, this is beautiful, dude. He's like, look at this black man working next to a white man. He's never marvels in the fucking future. He never goes, oh wow.
He's like, the Chinese are working here? That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
It would have been hilarious if he walked by that blue-faced guy and just thought he was Chinese.
Oh my god, dude.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
Or he walks by Keiko, and he starts saying some shit. He's like, oh no.
He's like, you married her. And so
you married a Chinese.
So he like his watch, he's like, oh, my beautiful watch. And meantime, fucking Picard's back in fucking the hole with the snake lady, and she's like, is there any hope? Can we find a substitution, like an impossible burger of
can we get you some monk fruit sweetener?
And she's like, no, we gotta have the Lucky Charms, dude. And the Lucky Charms are humans. And she's like, there's no other way.
People's souls.
And she phases away. She goes.
I guess that's death.
Invisible.
I guess.
Yeah. And so and meanwhile they're like, well, we gotta shoot this planet, dude. They're savages living in the sand, dude, time traveling. And then in the meantime, fucking Geordi revives fucking Data.
Well, there's that meeting.
He can't at first. Yeah.
There's that meeting where Riker is very passionate. He's like, we have to save Picard. Everyone's like, Picard would want us to blow up the planet.
Yeah. Picard would want us to blow up the planet.
Riker's like, you're right. He is very bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
He would love nothing more than the murder of countless souls.
Picard, the unbending diplomat who refused to kill the crystalline entity, would surely want us to carpet bomb these people.
But remember the penultimate episode of season 1 where Riker and Picard together shot phasers at a man's head until it exploded.
That's true. But they were angrier then.
It was Old Testament Star Trek.
God.
Oh my god, the concept of season 1 being Old Testament.
Where does the new one start?
With the beard. With the beard shows up, it's Jesus Riker. So that's New Testament. See? Yeah, there you go.
He's been resurrected.
Yeah, there you go.
So Picard Picard puts a message. He knows how to code now. And he puts a message in fucking Data's head. And meanwhile, they never do this, and they do it now. He's like, how long till these torpedoes load up? He's like, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. He's like, all right, let's load it. Let's get them going, dude. And no, not in any episode before this have they been like, phase the proton whatever torpedo.
Well, they have to change the phase of the torpedoes so it can target their fucking phase frequency or whatever.
I guess so.
That's why.
And
I think Geordi's being lazy. That's why he says a few hours.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the engineering's MO. You have to give an estimate that's way too high because the captain's always going to ask for weight, for
you have to under promise, over deliver. That's
exactly
the engineer's motto. That's what you got to do.
So Data comes back online. And he's like,
torpedo, stop, torpedo.
He's like, I am Jub. And he's like, they basically says, hey, I have Picard put this message in me, and the message is tell Anthony I love him. And he's like, what the fuck does that mean? Tell Anthony I love him. And so basically, that's an old fucking bald rocket joke. And so he basically goes, hey, I think, and so and they pause the carpet bombing, and then he's like, hey, I think we can get him back. We should try if we do this and that, and we could go but there's only one chance. So one person goes in and one person comes out, dude, like Thunderdome style, dude. And he's like, and stupid ass fucking Mark Twain. He's like, I volunteer as tribute, dude. I volunteer. I go in. I write my books, and
he's got to go back.
Yeah, he's got to go back, dude.
He's got to go back.
So. And so they trust him, dude. Fuck, dude. So he goes back, and he's like, Picard, go. It's fine. And then Picard goes like, all right, cool. We're all fine now. Okay, so you fix her. get her a doctor, and then go pay my tab. Like, what the fuck is
it? By the way, could you just pay my bill?
Yeah. And so fucking, by this time, they're already going to fucking bomb this fucking place. And he's like, all right, let's bomb it, in case it doesn't work. And so by the way, they shoot these fucking torpedoes and they take forever to get there. Usually it's fast, but this time Picard's there and they suck him up. O'Brien fucking sucks him up. He's the best transporter dude next to
he is.
Yep.
Next to what's his name? And
what's his name? How could you call him what's his name?
You know who it is, dude. People who've been listening know he's the best fucking ass kicker around, dude.
Ricardo. Disappointing.
Jason Statham. By the way, I watched The Beekeeper.
Right.
That is a season 6 opener of fucking Jason Statham movies.
That's a good analogy.
So he saves what's her face? Guinan.
Yeah.
And then he leaves Data's head there, and then he leaves his watch there because he remembers like,
for the hell of it.
You gotta leave the watch, baby.
I don't think he even remembers that. He just does it on a whim.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like, I don't think he is like, oh, I'm going to leave my watch here because they told me to. I think he just chooses to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, they don't say, whew.
I think it might, like, you can stretch and believe that maybe he put 2 and 2 together, that because he found his watch on the Enterprise, like with them, was like, oh, that means they found it in the cave too.
I mean, I guess,
it would take a bit of leaping, but yeah, like you can
that's
surmise
true.
that.
He could have.
He's a leaper.
He could have made that jump.
Do a leaper. And so he all's well that ends well. But at no point are they like, hey, we should tell Starfleet about this shit. That these ghouls are fucking like so, and go back and like look at.
Are there more Davidians? We need to wipe them out of the galaxy.
I know,
but also go through the history books and find out. Did Mark Twain say any really weird shit about?
Yeah.
Also, let us examine other pandemics in human history and see if Davidians have been fucking. Was the COVID pandemic a Davidian plot?
Okay, I have a minor tweak to the plot that would be interesting.
Okay,
what if the Davidians were only targeting not people who are sick, but criminals like murderers and like rapists, like people that were already considered like
they're like vigilantes essentially,
forgotten by time traveling vigilantes.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
And you're like, well. Here's my thing. Every time I heard Davidians, all I could think about was fucking David Koresh.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say the Da Vinci Code.
No, dude, David Koresh, dude. I'm like, oh no, he fucking Christian bastard. Anyway,
I don't even know who that is.
David Koresh?
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Isn't he the dude that started the that cult?
I don't know.
David,
I'm not. I haven't kept up on cults.
Yes,
he was indeed an American cult leader. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And they were called the Davidians, dude, because his name was David.
Oh,
he's the guy.
Okay.
Remember he had that standoff and they killed all those kids and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, is that what it was?
And then there's a really good PBS documentary where like you see Timothy McVeigh outside like protesting, and he was inspired by that to go and do the Oklahoma bombing, dude.
Well, and apparently all that went down in 93, which is why we haven't heard about it yet in our Around the Sun stuff.
It's coming up.
We shall, dude. It's a crazy documentary.
Which meant that people watching it at the time did not have that connection to make.
Yeah, but I did, dude. I knew who David Koresh was.
Did. This was also the episode where Guinan falls in love with Picard.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I'm a bit annoyed with this episode overall, because despite learning more about Guinan and her whereabouts throughout history, we know almost nothing more about Picard and Guinan's like friendship or history together.
This only
his
explains,
only role was to ensure that they still met originally, which sucks.
And then it only explains 2 random throwaway lines Guinan has said throughout the series. One was Picard, an older man saved me when I was younger once. And the other is, I've always been attracted to balder men.
Oh.
So
but even it's so tenuous.
It seems to imply that I guess they have had some kind of relationship.
Maybe, because even then Picard, she says,
because he says we've had or somebody says that
we're far more than friends. Or
Guinan goes, "Are we friends?" And he goes, "We more than friends." And you're like,
and he refuses to elaborate. Why doesn't Guinan ask, like, "Wait, what do you mean by that?"
Yeah,
she's like, "What?
Are we coworkers? are we fuck buddies? Are we like what are we?"
I'm your work husband.
Yeah, I'm your work husband. Yeah, like what is that? And I wanted to point out when he says goodbye to Guinan, the weird very plastic rock cave. Did you notice that?
when he's
so go to the scene where Picard is saying goodbye to Guinan.
His last words to Guinan,
his last words to Guinan. He like presses up against the wall, the rock wall. And
just like made of paper mache.
It clearly is like not a rock.
It deforms like dramatically. Even on regular television, you would have caught it. So like that scene where Picard gets up after he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go back in time, Guinan," and he uses the rock to lift himself up. The rock presses in all the way.
Yeah, it's very unstable, and it's definitely not a rock of any kind.
I thought you were talking about the actor, songwriter,
The Rock. Yeah, it's just a very obvious little. It's around, what is it? What's the time code for this one? It's around 42:21.
A little before that, I'd say like 42:14. Yeah. That's what I.
You mean the surface that looks like an egg carton?
Yeah. He just squishes it down.
Kind of looks like an egg carton getting pushed in a bit.
And he exactly. Uses it to like prop himself up, and it just like totally
no time for a second.
I'm looking at it kind of on a smaller resolution. It's all right at small res. When it's really big, it would probably be worse. On network TV, it probably was one of those things that no one saw.
Anyway,
it's very noticeable to me. I don't know. Anyway, that was a little fun thing I noticed. I love picking up on production mishaps. And
what would you guys rate this episode?
Oh God, I'm gonna go with a 6.
Okay, I was gonna say go 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 6 because I just could not stand Mark Twain's character. And I don't know. I just felt like this episode had a lot going on, like way too much. It was like way too complicated. Nothing really paid off in like a satisfying way. And I don't think it was a strong way to start the season. So I really hope it's up from here.
Yeah.
I think so. I have every intention to believe so, but it's definitely not a strong way to start the season 6.
I'm going to give
it
like
Marvin was already onto it at the very beginning when he said, like, the problem with every two-parter across seasons is that they write one without really knowing how the second one will end.
Yes, and this is one of the worst. This is
one of the worst examples I've seen so far because they shot they did a scatter shot of like details into part 1, hoping that it would all come together. They created a mystery
box and didn't know how to fix it,
and then they dutifully just connected pieces together to make sure that it made sense, but it wasn't compelling.
Yeah,
right. Definitely not compelling.
So Jerry Taylor, who was the main writer for the episode, she said this one was a nightmare. It was just awful to try to get the story going. Even when we finally went to script, we kept changing the story. So it was a matter of going back and wrenching out sections and restructuring and plugging in other things and then taking all that away again. It was probably the most troubled episode of the year. And then Renee Echevarria.
That's very obvious. Exactly what she's saying. It's very obvious.
And then Renee Echevarria, who is also in the writer's room, quotes, "We basically boxed ourselves into a corner with part 1, and it prompted very hilarious arguments about time travel and how it worked. That's not how time travel works, you idiot," with huge accusations and people falling back on primary sources like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's the way it works. You can go meet yourself and all sorts of preposterous stuff. So
okay, that would be more fun to watch than any of this.
Yeah, which, they didn't have fun with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm giving this a 4 because it's just
shit.
There's
maybe I feel like I should go lower.
There's almost nothing redeemable about the episode. It's one, they're dramatically out of character, everyone. Like, no one acts the way you would expect them to given their history. 2, they just kill all the aliens at the end. 3, it's a time travel plot that isn't having fun with the time travel. It's almost inconvenient. that they're
the time travel is inconvenient because they solve all of the setup of the time travel plot like midway through the story, and it's not a problem.
Yes, and their main anchor historical figure. You want to talk about Bill and Ted? All of those historical figures in Bill and Ted are interesting, charming, and funny. And when they're in like what's the term? Out of
the
water,
mall?
Like the
fish out of water
situations. It's hilarious, but Mark Twain's just annoying. like he's not a good character for it at all. So you could delete this episode from the canon and it would be fine.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it at all.
There's nothing would have been lost.
Again, all the fun, you hit the nail on the head. Like, here's the thing, this by now. I love time travel.
Yeah, you do.
And I like Westerns, dude.
Yeah.
Great chance to do so many fucking things.
Why was nobody shooting guns?
Nobody.
Yeah,
did.
not even one.
Mm-hmm.
There was
they had one that they needed to use that they gave to Mark Twain just because he needed to be there with a gun.
Yeah, there was no like cowboy standoff. There was nothing.
No duel.
Nothing.
Like it was literally a Chekhov's gun that wasn't fired.
Yeah, dude. Chekhov wasn't even there, dude. It was Mark Twain. So I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. Like, again, there was so many things to have fun with, and like that were kind of cool. They could have explained her as a psychic to make money.
Yeah, so
many gags.
You're
gags
in a
that
fun
could have been
period. Made. Do something. You did nothing.
Yeah, I hope it gets better.
Well, they did say it was the most troubled episode of the season, so it feels like they just had to get this out of the way because they were obligated to, and now they can do it.
It's gotta only be up from here. It's gotta
4
be
out of 10. Would not recommend.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I'll give it a 4.5.
Oh my gosh! Look at me with my high score.
You love this episode.
I guess clearly I do.
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. Well, yeah. I guess I'll.
Well, I'm just glad that Picard went to coding boot camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew how to code, weekend. But he didn't know how to write messages.
The boot camp's very focused.
Oh, in the event you want to write binary in a positronic brain, here you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Times Arrow Part 2. So far, unfortunately, the worst of the two-parters. Even though it should be really fun, but it just wasn't. It just did not have a lot going for it. But hey, I hope you guys had fun listening to us talk about it. If you did, maybe consider joining the YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube right now, you can just click that join button, join the channel. For only $1.99, you can get really early access to new episodes, and it's ad-free episodes. And I'm going to eventually add that Discord. I swear to God, it's happening. Just need to get around to it.
We will.
We'll
get there.
And some other features eventually.
Is anyone even asking about it?
No, not necessarily. But I keep saying I'll add one, and I haven't.
So okay, here. Tell you what. From now on, let's not mention it until it's ready.
Okay, that's a good way. But there's stuff available right now if you want to check it out. Just click join on the channel, or just look if you're just listening on the audio only version of the podcast. Just go to YouTube and look for Newbie Star Trek. It's there. But also, if you guys ever want to send us an email, just send us an email at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. So this one's a pretty fun email, this episode, because do you guys remember Johnny? The one who
Johnny who? I know Johnny, but he does adult movies.
Well, he's the one who has been cataloging
tracking our episode.
Tracking our episode. Yes. So
Bravo,
he sent us
Johnny.
He sent us a more this is a milestone email, I should say, because it's titled Season 1 Complete. So Johnny says, "Good evening. Hope you all are doing well. Just a little insight on your fan. I'm a 52-year-old amateur cinephile movie fan, but I've not studied film officially, besides a few book chapters and videos. Although that's essentially what film school is. You've gone through film school. You've done it. I've seen a ton of movies, good and bad. That's also film
if you could talk shit about a movie, then you've gone to film school.
Yeah, you're better than most film school graduates.
If you've corrected somebody when they've said Scorsese and somebody said it's Scorsese, then you've gone to film school.
If you know the difference between Paul Thomas Anderson and Paul W.S. Anderson, you're a film school graduate.
I don't know the difference.
Again, I found you through YouTube's algorithm. If it helps, my commonly watched searched subjects clips include the following: ambience backgrounds for working, NFL commentators, BCS, which is Better Call Saul, BB, which is Breaking Bad, Sopranos and Seinfeld clips, 80s music, and occasional math topics. I hope I can catch up to you by the time you finish
Really
season
interesting.
7.
I want to know what team he follows. NFL team he follows.
Well, all of them, yes. But he told us what our top... So, sorry, Sarah, because you weren't in the podcast yet. But he did compile for us what we discovered to be our top 5 episodes of season 1 and our bottom 5 episodes of season 1.
Oh, sorry, lay it on us.
So I would ask what you guys think it would be, but I have a feeling Ricardo does not remember season 1.
I don't remember season 1.
Like even I would have trouble recalling enough episodes to fill that list.
Years ago at this point, right? Like
so I'll do the top 5 first. So coming in 5th place, The Naked Now, we actually considered a top 5 episode.
I don't know what that episode is.
The Naked, where everyone gets drunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Crazy Wesley.
Yes.
The first Crazy Wesley.
Okay, yes.
Yes. The 4th one was Coming of Age, which I find a little interesting. That's the one where Wesley has to go to take the test at the academy.
Wait, that was that early on?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Actually rated that 4th. Just interesting.
Okay.
3rd, Skin of Evil. So that's the one where Tasha dies. So that's what we in 3rd. 2nd, Conspiracy, the one where the guy's head explodes.
All right, that's worth it.
Yeah, and number 1 was 11001001. The one with the
110101.
It's the one with the binary guys, and also
but it's also with Minuet.
Yeah, Minuet.
Yeah, dude.
And Riker's in the jazz club, and they have a trouble with Picard.
And that's why it's at the top. It's not because of the binary.
It's also it's also arguably the best episode of the season, I would say. 11001001 is a legitimately really good episode, I think. Because there's an action scene where Data and Geordi have to evacuate the Enterprise all at once, and there's all this cool stuff that happens. So I think that's a great episode. Yeah,
like there isn't that an episode where they're on the verge of like self-destructing the Enterprise?
Yes, that's it. And it's the one where Data says, "I've made a mistake," and everyone's like, "Data," there's a lot of interesting stuff happening actually in that episode. Yeah. So the bottom 5 episodes of season 1, in 5th worst place, Hide and Q. That makes sense. The Q's really annoying, especially in that episode. That's the one where Riker gains his powers, Q powers.
Sure.
The Arsenal of Freedom. That's the one where the whole planet is trying to sell weapons.
Yeah.
And it's on trialware or on shareware. It's trying to get people to buy their weapons by forcing them to go through a trial version. 3rd one is Home Soil. That's the one with the crystals accuse us of being ugly bags of mostly water.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th one is Symbiosis. That's the one where the drug planet is selling to the druggy planet, and Picard has to stop them.
And then I can guess the last one.
Yeah. The worst episode of the season, very predictably, Code of Honor, the racist black people planet.
Home of Space Wakanda and the Laser Stripper Jungle Gym.
Yeah, we rated that pretty low. Also, interesting data correlation. Ricardo and Dan were most closely correlated in their scores, according to Excel. So Ricardo and Dan tend to agree the most, at least in that season. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah,
this is fascinating data. Thank you so much for collecting.
Yeah, this is a fun bit of data, Johnny. I really appreciate you.
Your hard work is appreciated.
Yeah, it's very interesting, actually.
Yeah,
like that's one season's worth. Like as time goes on, I'm just waiting for inconsistency to shine on through,
or maybe consistency. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean that would be the surprising outcome, right? Then I'll be like, "Ooh, that's cool."
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Well, thank you very much, Johnny, for that email, and thank you guys for listening. If you guys want to check out other stuff we do, head on over to fugitiveframes.com. One of the things you can check out there is the Would You Stay Tuned podcast, where we check out a pilot of a TV show and ask, hey, would we stay tuned? You know what? Would we? Would you? All right. Next week,
question.
We continue our journey through season 6, starting with Realm of Fear, where a certain character is there. That's all.
Many characters will be there.
Realm of Fear?
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, is this one with Scarecrow in it?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Jonathan Crane.
Also, we do know that DS9 is rapidly approaching. And don't worry, we have plans for that episode as well. So
we sure do.
Oh, well, that episode. That series.
Series.
Well.
Season.
So,
series.
We're gonna again take a tiny break, 1 week break, because there's some scheduling conflicts. But we'll be back after that. All right, guys. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good
Catch
one,
you
y'all.
next time.
Mailbag, smite your enemies.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Bags